Jackson Police Department took a report of the incident and began to investigate. After the investigation, the owner of the pickup truck, who is Michael Pfizer, 41 of Jackson, was located thanks to a tip. He reportedly admitted to the police that his truck did hit the building. Pfizer was ultimately cited for failure to control his motor vehicle. He's expected to appear in the Jackson County Municipal Court on Thursday, March 14th at 1
Has anyone
p.m.
seen a street?
Oh. So here it goes, and then just
we could turn into the alley, or we could just go straight through the building. It's fine.
yeah.
Whatever.
So that's the video provided by Jen here.
Hey, I'm just gonna tell you. Number one, those cameras have paid for themselves like over and over.
That's good.
Because the strangest things happen on that corner, and it's not necessarily even in our business. It's just in general, and so.
Right.
We've had all kind of interesting things picked up by those cameras. So, yeah, they've definitely paid for themselves. And I'm just going to tell you, they're everywhere. So don't do anything around our building because we're probably going to see it.
Right. So anyway, he's been cited and will be in court. So
I just want my door fixed, man. I'm not mad or anything. I just want my door fixed.
Right. Well, hopefully now that they have,
Yeah.
the person, that hopefully you'll get some kind of resolution there.
It was an unfortunate incident, and hopefully we can get everything done pretty quickly. So
I have some school news I was going to talk about.
Okay.
I was going to mention the solar eclipse again because since I first mentioned the Jackson City Schools doing the early dismissal, Wellston and Oak Hill have followed suit.
Okay.
They are also dismissing 2 hours early on Eclipse Day.
Okay.
And I didn't print off my paper for Oak Hill and Wellston to be able to tell you when they announced that, but it's been recently that those two school districts have announced that as well.
And I think a lot of people are like, well, that's so dumb. Why are they doing that? But honestly, anybody in the eclipse path is going to realize, number one, it's the kind where you can't look at it. It's going to burn something if you do.
Unless you're in totality. If you're in totality, you can look at it.
Okay. But
when the totality happens.
You need the special glasses and all this stuff. And about the time school gets out is about the time this is going to happen. So if you've got kids walking home and that kind of situation, number one, it's going to be dark for a couple of minutes. So you're going to have kids walking in the dark, which is not safe. And also, them looking up at the sky is not a good idea. So therefore, I get why they're letting school out. If anyone wants to judge and say that's stupid and whatever, it makes total sense to me.
Yeah. So once again, the total solar eclipse, it will cross North America it's Monday, April 8th.
Yeah.
It will pass over Mexico, the United States, and Canada. Get your glasses. I got some that I'll be bringing in so that we'll be able to watch. I just ordered them on Amazon.
Okay.
And I've purchased a telescope and a solar lens for the telescope. And I have plans to try to live stream the eclipse. We'll see how that goes.
Hopefully it's not cloudy. That would be so sad.
If it's raining or cloudy, it's not going to happen. And another problem, so I played with it yesterday at lunchtime because the lens came in over the weekend.
Okay.
And I, put it on there, and it's as big as the sun is, you think it would be easy to find. But it's very hard to find through the telescope. And then once you do find it, it's hard to keep it on there.
It moves, right?
It moves, but it's not so much that it's moving. It's just, the telescope's kind of heavy and the tripod, and, you got to really get it locked down. And
you're going to have to do a lot of practice.
I'm going to have to do a lot of, hopefully it's a clear day and I can just take the whole day to get it set up to where we can live stream this.
Yeah.
And I'm a little worried about using my phone, so I may use an old phone that I have instead of my current phone.
Yeah.
Because I'm worried that it might mess the camera up or something. But with the lens, it's supposed to be fine.
It's supposed to. So if you do want to try to record this situation, they are saying that you need to buy a protective lens for your camera.
Right. Yeah, for your
phone.
For your phone, camera, or if you're looking through binoculars, telescope, or anything, you got to have one of those special rated, it's like a solar lens. It's super neat when I did find it yesterday afternoon because the telescope's got two different little lenses. And the first one I had trouble using, but the second one, when I got it, and I did get it in the scope and I could see it, it's real yellow and you could see little black places on it. I guess it's like it's like sunspots or something. It was super neat to see.
That's awesome.
But I had trouble getting my phone because it came with a special mount to where you can mount it on there so you can video it or take pictures. But every time I try to do that, where my phone's so heavy, like it would kind of cause the telescope to drift.
God, it would go kind of move.
So I'm gonna have to figure out a way to, I don't know, give it a little more support
We'll have
or
to engineer something.
Yeah, just to make it a little more stable, maybe.
Yeah.
So that it doesn't move on me. But I was thinking, this weekend we spring forward.
Is that this weekend?
That's this weekend, so don't forget.
Oh, it stays daylight later.
Yes.
All right.
So the sun's going to be in a different position in the sky than it is now.
Yes, it will.
So maybe it'll be further away to where I won't have to point it as far straight up to get a view. So we'll see. But anyway, I have plans to do this, and
that's
hopefully,
so exciting. I mean, this is something that's once in a lifetime.
Yeah, it doesn't happen very often. I know you had said 2099 was the next one. I've read something else. They're saying 2044.
Okay.
Is when the next one will pass over the United States.
The 2099 is the total one.
Maybe. It's neat. I seen a partial one in 2017.
Yeah.
This one will be a partial one, but based on what I've read and looked at, we should have about 90. We should be able to see about 90%.
That's pretty cool.
I think it's going to be pretty cool. And I plan to come in on the show that morning. Probably take us, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes. I'm going to bring all the supplies, and we're going to make and show the viewers how to make a pinhole projector. It's super neat. You use cereal boxes and aluminum foil, tape, paper, and it's neat. Once you finish it, you'll be able to have your back to the sun, and you'll hold that box and you'll look in. And when you look in, the sun comes through the pinhole and it projects in the bottom of the cereal box the eclipse. So you can see the sun, the outline of the sun in the bottom of the box, and you can see the moon coming over top of it.
Do you need
neatest thing.
The glasses for that?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, that's how I watched it in 2017.
Cool.
Super cool. You can even see clouds.
Okay, that's neat.
Like it's like the shadow, but it's like where it's coming through that real tiny hole, and in the bottom of the box, the way it projects, it's just the neatest thing.
Doesn't that just make you feel so small?
Yeah,
if you start thinking about these like phenomenon that happen once in a lifetime, it just makes you feel so small.
It does. It's going to be super neat, though.
By the way, I forgot to tell you guys, Pete would be interested in this too. When we were on our vacation on the cruise, they had, how like at night they have like people that give demonstrations and they have entertainment and all that stuff. Well, they had brought on board a guy that's like an astronomer.
Oh.
And so on this particular ship we were on, there was a bar that kind of like hangs off it's on the very back of the ship, and they called it like the Sunset Bar or something like that. And so he would come and Jamie and I were just walking through there one night, and he was sitting there, and he had his telescope, a fancy one, set up, and he had it, on the moon.
And that'd be the time to see it. I mean, because you're out in pitch black.
There's
no lights or anything around.
It was so cool. He let us like anybody that wanted to, he let us look in it, and you could also see other planets around.
Oh.
Like you couldn't see them really, really well, but he's like, that is, I can't remember what he said, Saturn or something like that. But the moon, you could see all like these weird craters, and it wasn't a full moon; it was like a half moon, but you could still see all of. I mean, it's just like stuff like that. That's like, I don't want to say once in a lifetime, but kinda. I mean, how often do we have somebody that's standing there giving you the opportunity to look through a really, really expensive telescope?
Right. I'm excited to take mine the next full moon and take it outside and see how it does.
Yeah.
Because just looking at the sun yesterday with the one lens, because it took me a while to find it because of where that solar thing's so dark, you can't, can't see until it's like you find it. So it's like I'd move it up and I'd move it down, and then eventually like it's like, oh,
there it is.
I see it, that I would find it. But, with the moon, I won't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
So I can maybe use the other one that gets me a little closer.
Yep.
So then I might, like you said, be able to see like the craters and
Super
stuff.
cool stuff.
So,
I mean, you see the moon from the naked eye, and it's just a glowing situation. You actually get to look at it. It's like really cool.
well, I'm gonna touch on a couple other things here because I know Pete's probably chomping at the bit to come over. Just real quick, because we're into March, and I just wanted to touch on a couple more things from Jackson School
Yeah,
Board.
sure.
So at the last meeting in February, the Jackson State School District has taken steps to crack down on students vaping in the restrooms, and they're utilizing
Hayden,
technology
shame on you.
to be able. They'll be vaping in the
So much
bathroom.
for smoking
Hayden,
in the boys' room.
you're gonna get caught. So they have this new technology that is able to
We're just
detect the
kidding, by the way.
vapes,
He doesn't do that.
and they even at this point in time they had installed a total of 6 of these detectors at the high school building, and a few were also being installed at the middle school.
Yes.
Because I guess there's some areas down there where the principal has had some issues, and they said that within seconds of when a student vapes in the restroom, an email notification goes to the principal or whoever it's designated to go to, and the particular detectors are known as Halo Smart Sensors, and not only do they detect vaping, but they can also monitor air quality as well as safety-related monitoring for abnormal noise levels, from aggression to even calls for help.
Okay.
So there's like a handful of keywords that, if a student yells help or whatever, like it'll pick that up,
Or it has a noise monitor that if it's super,
it'll send like
meter probably.
yes. And Superintendent Phil Howard's concluded that the new technology is definitely working as far as the vaping goes so far, because at that time it had just only been a few days or a week or something since they had installed it, but they're just looking to kind of cut down.
Get busted.
Yeah, cut down on that. So just wanted to touch on that. Wanted to mention, because we were in and talked about some traffic woes there at the high school when students are leaving.
Okay.
Particularly the kids that are driving, they go around the backside of the school and go out, like 139, and there's a lot of congestion there at that exit because there's parents coming up and it's hard to see and everything. Well, the student rep brought this up. AJ Graham brought it up to the superintendent that, for probably 10, 12 minutes, there's a problem at that intersection, and Phil Howard wasn't aware of it. And after reviewing the cameras, he goes, it is a problem. And I'm surprised somebody hasn't got hit yet and all this. And he had mentioned about opening the Burlington Road entrance because it's usually closed.
Yes.
The only time they open it is maybe after like a big football game or like an emergency or something like that.
Gotcha.
Well, he said that, he kind of shot that idea down, but then he went out and kind of sat and studied it. Some of the board members went out and sat and studied it there at the Burlington Road. And he said that they may end up utilizing that entrance and exit. May put some signage out there. It could be something that's coming up here in the future. And that would obviously alleviate that traffic situation on the other side of the school there, where Bond and that intersection is there by the building on the backside.
Makes
so
sense.
that's something that you may see in the future if you see cars leaving from the Burlington Road entrance, or cars coming in that way. Even that's why. So just wanted to mention that. I think we already touched on the YMCA tennis courts before. That Jackson State Schools has a lease there for the tennis players to go play down at the courts. They had gotten a letter from the CEO over there, Tim Harvey, saying that there were repairs that needed to be made. And since then, they had made some concrete repairs. They may have done some more work. I mean, we've had some good weather here lately. Yeah. Not sure. But that's kind of an ongoing thing down there at the tennis courts at the Y. And the last thing I just wanted to mention was the Apple City Players recently announced their production lineup through summer of 2025. And their latest production was the Red Velvet Cake War. They only got to do one night, had to cancel the other two due to sickness. Yeah.
Good grief.
And
took out half the cast.
Yeah, wasn't a good thing there. Some of their other productions, they have Leading Ladies, summer of 2024, Clue, fall of 2024, Still Magnolias, winter of 2025, and Little Shop of Horrors, summer of 2025.
Yeah, that's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, Little Shop of Horrors.
First musical.
Yeah, that'll be fun. To learn more about the Apple City Players, you can visit their Facebook page or TikTok, and they have more information on there. So, all right, I'm gonna get out of here, and we'll let Pete come over because I'm sure he's full of it.
He's always full of it, but that's why we love him.
Right.
Thanks, Jeremiah. We appreciate you so much. He looks full of it today.
Okay. Now, there's always a lot going on. There's a lot going on we know, a lot going on that we don't know, but we are always working on it, always working on it.
So true. So what is going on in your neck of the woods, Pete?
Okay, well, funny you should mention that. Just a block away from my house on South and Star, there's a bunch of construction equipment. It's probably moving up the street my way as we speak, but we're talking about the big, capital B, capital I,
Holy
capital G,
moly.
South Street Waterline Project. And this is a progress picture just from late yesterday afternoon. They are starting at the David Avenue intersection. That is exactly where that picture is. And, you look up and you see the South Street Hill there in the background. This waterline project is a $1.75 million contract to BP Pipelines of Quincy, Kentucky. And they were on the scene. City Supervision was there. Greg Farr, who was a water distribution supervisor, coordinator, department head, whatever. He was there watching when I was there. And this project will go all the way from the David Avenue intersection to the East Main Street intersection. And it appears, and this was the indication I got yesterday, they'll just go right up the street about a block at a time. And, we're talking about putting in a whole new water line. The water line that's there now, according to what I've been told, goes back to 1898.
Woof.
So it's time. It's time.
A few years ago.
And, the good news is the city was able to get a couple grants plus use some other money that they had that didn't start out as their own at all, American Rescue Plan Act monies that were left. And so every cent, at least that's the way it's being laid out, for this project is not city revenue, city tax money or whatever. It is, grants and all like that, which is good because this is very expensive to do. Not even city income tax money that is used, through all the paving and some of the other things going on. Not a dime of that is having to go for this project. But what they'll do, Jennifer, is in this case, the water line, the existing water line, is actually on the other side of the street. This is the left side of the street, if you can see the picture well enough. The new line is going to go up that side of the street. The old line is on the other side of the street. So they're not going to have to, in theory, disrupt water service at all because the water line is being replaced. One line's being replaced by the other. The other line will remain in service until the new line is in service. There will be, so you're talking about, on the downside, you're talking about, the street being torn up. You're talking about some property disruption, if that's a nice word to use, because they got to dig laterals to hook up with water service lines to residents and businesses and so forth. So all this will take place, started yesterday officially, and will continue into August, through August, into August, all the way up South Street there. So $1.75 million project. They are going to celebrate it with a ceremonial groundbreaking and photo op later on this morning, as a matter of fact.
Okay.
We'll be there to cover that at 11 a.m. If you haven't noticed, on East South Street at the Triangle Park, you call it McKinley Park, there is a big sign.
Triangle
that
Park.
that celebrates that, the triangle grass there. One of them is called McKinley Park, the larger one where, they've done some shrubbery and park benches.
yeah.
Then there's a smaller one, and I can't remember which one it is, but it's one is right after the other.
Yeah.
There's one block further east. And so that is where that big sign is, to celebrate the fact and to proclaim the fact that this is all grant money and that this project is taking place. So we will cover that, and we will continue to watch that as well. What didn't start on Monday that was supposed to is a sewer lining replacement project that will start very soon. Did not start yesterday as first thought, but it will go from Veterans Drive to Chillicothe Street and just as water lines need to be replaced, so do sewer lines. This is a sewer line relining replacement project, and that is nearly $1 million to about $750,000. This project is $1.75 million.
Nothing's cheap, is it, Pete?
Nothing is cheap. All right, and speaking of grants and good things that may happen in the future, the city of Wellston has announced that it would invite residents and anyone interested in learning, whether you want to talk or just listen, to come to a town hall meeting that will be held this Thursday. It will be from 5:30 to 6:30 p.m. in the Wellston City Council chambers. There's a regular council meeting that night at 7 p.m., so you know the city officials should be there. But the City Hall, 203 East Broadway Street in Wellston. And what's going on is the city officials are angling for a grant, which, if secured, if it's won, it would be the city would be able to build a police and fire department training campus. So we'll see what happens there. The reason that they're having a town hall meeting is not just to spread the information. If there is public input and public interest, and you can write that into your grant application, that strengthens your application. Sure. So if there is local support beyond just the government and community interest in it, that will help. And so that is another reason to go to the town hall meeting. I mean, everybody would say, hey, you know, if you can get that and get it paid for by grant, or mostly by a grant, that's a good thing. But in this case, the people that give out the money want to see that you want it and you care about it. Yeah. So we urge Wellston residents who care to go to that town hall meeting, 5:30 to 6:30 p.m. on Thursday. All right, let's cheer again for our Jackson High School competition cheerleaders.
Woohoo!
Here's what they did. They've already won a first place state championship this year. That was back in November.
Yes.
Well, they've done it again. They've been in they've been in other competitions, and they've always done well. But this is the ultimate. This is a state championship from a competition last Saturday at Big Walnut High School, which is, I believe, in Delaware County, very near Columbus. And here are all our competition cheerleaders, along with the coaches, Courtney Butcher and Tiffany Boggs. These girls, they graduated 5 or 6 seniors last year, and you're thinking, oh boy, well, we got to rebuild. Well, right. These girls came right back, and they've won 2 state championships. The latest one was this last Saturday, and they won it in the Division III, because it's by school enrollment, Game Day Building Division. And what is the Game Day Building Division? In the Game Day competition, you do 4 different things that you simulate during a football game.
Yeah.
Right. And so they've won in this category before, and they did it again in their Division III. There were 11 other schools from all over Ohio that did this. And this is a thing a little bit away from the public's eye a lot. You go to basketball games or football games, it's all part of the atmosphere, but the main thing is out there on the football field.
Sure.
So these cheerleaders, deserve a lot of credit for working behind the scenes to be very good at what they do.
Yes, they do.
This is beyond just the regular cheerleading thing, the football games and the basketball games and wherever else they cheer. This is taking it to another level. As far as gymnastics go and like that. And those girls, I'm going to name them. I hope I get these names right. Allie Rippeth, Elena Stockmeister, Lexi Hellman, Olivia Taylor, Taylor Williams, Gabby Palm, Grace Eisenhower, Cammie Muncie, Bren Denny, Gracie Spradlin, Emily Wiggins, McKinley Lazan, Bren McGee, McKinley Riley, Brent Tripp, J.C. Yeager, Kirsten Snyder, Lexi Butcher, Sophie Williams, Cannon Stifler, Madison Robbins, Hannah Pennington, Braylee Lyons, and Riley Kilgore. So there's 24 girls. Now, here is kind of like a backstory to this. And the girl that did not get to go was Abigail Baker, also known as Abby Baker. Abby and her brother lost their father and their grandfather in that airplane crash just a week and a half ago. And she was not able to compete in this, but the squad, and all these girls are close and friends. It's been hard for them lately, as well as Abby.
Yes, it has been.
They dedicated their victory and their performance to her. So they have qualified because of the way they have performed in these statewide competitions to go once again to Orlando, Florida, to a
Nice.
international competition. It's called International, and if they are able to do the same thing they've done before, this would be the third time that they have been declared international champions, and that's coming up pretty soon. It's March 16th and 17th in
Oh,
Orlando,
wow.
Florida.
They don't have a lot of time to get ready.
No, it's called the AmeriCheer International Cheerleading Championship. I'm not sure whether they do the very same things they've done in state competition, but I would think that it would be similar at least. And here's another treat, for the public, because, these competitions are out of town, and you figure the people that go, are the parents and very close friends and relatives and like that. They are going to have a public performance of what they're going to do. It's kind of a dry run for them as well in front of
Sure.
people. This will be open to the public, and they've announced this. It's going to be on Monday, March 11th. That is next Monday at 7 p.m. at the Jackson High School Gymnasium. They are calling it their send-off performance.
Love
and
that.
so that's a chance to see what they do and how well they do it. So congratulations to the Jackson High School competition cheerleaders. We will have a story and photo in our Wednesday edition on that. Okay, as we know, it is the political season, right?
No, it's political silly season.
Right, from
I think we're flat out into it now.
From the unsolicited texts, calls, mailers you get.
The mailers crack me up. They're
the
great.
commercials on the air where you find out how bad the other guy is or the other girl
Everyone's
is.
a horse thief except for your
Right.
candidate.
Okay. Well, of course, we get touched by that as well. It's statewide, national elections.
Yes.
But our election, our primary election in Ohio, we'll remind everybody, is Tuesday, March the 19th. Early voting going on already.
Yes, right now.
Also, absentee voting. The early voting can be done in person at your local boards of elections office. Of course, we want to refer everybody to either Jackson County or Vinton County, our main audience, if that's where you happen to be listening to our TV show today. But those hours will expand. They're already a little longer during the weekday. They will expand into the weekend starting this Saturday.
Okay.
And then they will expand even more the next week in the run-up to that primary election.
You have
But-
no excuse not to vote.
Absolutely not. But a couple of events worthy of mention. There was a Trump Parade 2. I didn't know whether you knew that. It went through 3 counties last Saturday. It was so that would be Saturday, March the 2nd. And that is Don Walters. He used to be a Franklin Township trustee. He's a Republican loyalist here in Jackson County. Lives down in Franklin Township. Guess what? Can you guess that he is a supporter of President Donald Trump and also congressional candidate Larry Kidd?
How funny.
He was among those that was standing out on Main and Broadway when the Trump Parade 2, we'll call it the Trump Parade 2, came through. It's known technically as the Vinton County Trump Parade.
Okay.
Because it was organized in Vinton County, started and ended in Vinton County. But the route started in Vinton County, came into Jackson County, out of Jackson County, and into Ross County, then back into Vinton County. It went through Allensville, MacArthur, Hamden, Colton, Wellston, Jackson, Richmondale, Londonderry, back to US 50 on the west end of Vinton County. There is one of the vehicles that was in that parade. About 30 vehicles were involved, not nearly as big as the one 4 years ago, but this was the primary, and right now Donald Trump way ahead as far as the Republican leader right now for that Republican nomination, and it's not the general election yet, so it'll fire up a little bit more, you can bet, for the general election. But about 30 vehicles involved came through downtown Jackson about 2:20, 2:25 p.m. on Saturday. So if you didn't, we had publicized it as a political event coming up. But if you happened to be coming through town, then you had to wait while it was passing if you were on one of those side streets. But anyway, we'll have a story and some pictures on that in our Wednesday paper as well. On the other side of the political aisle, not too long ago, several weeks ago, at 6 Cents Brewing and Tap Room, the Jackson County Democrats had a little meet and greet event, and we told you about Samantha Meadows, the congressional candidate, being there. Well, Alex Shope was there to cover that, and he wrote a second story that we're just now telling you about. It will be in our paper Saturday, along with the Trump Parade. We're equal opportunity
There you go.
publicizers. Louise Jameson, who is running for the Ohio Supreme Court as a Democratic candidate, and she has opposition in the primary even.
Okay.
She made the trip to Jackson County, and any state level candidate, that's going to come down here and be heard by the public, even though if
It
some
shows
of the
we exist.
even if some of the public, just can't get interested yet, we're going to give them credit for being here if we know. And so Louise Jameson, I think, Hayden, we have a picture of her, don't we, there somewhere? If you can find that there. Louise was there at the event, and she was greeted by Lisa Parker, who is the chairman of the Jackson County Democratic Party. And Louise, if she can get elected in the primary, she would be running in the general election against, I believe, a Republican incumbent. But anyway, interesting story on her, and this will be in Alex's story. She started her professional career as a female coal miner in West Virginia.
What?
So, not that coal miners don't make good
interesting.
money. They do make good money, but that's obviously hard blue-collar
Yeah,
work.
it is.
And mother moved to Columbus, worked her way through law school, became a lawyer, then a judge, and now she's running for the Ohio Supreme Court. So how about that?
That is an interesting story.
That is special. Okay, we will move on now to the Wellston City Schools Wall of Achievement. Jackson City Schools have their Hall of Honor to pick Hall of Fame type people that are wonderful graduates or great contributors to the school district or to the community. Wellston City Schools has its Wall of Achievement. It's like the same thing. Well, they are now inviting nominations for this year's honoree, which will be honored at the Wellston Alumni Banquet, which is held on Memorial Day weekend. But Wellston City Schools is inviting the public to submit nominees. The nominee must be a Wellston High School graduate or a resident of Wellston for a minimum of 20 years. Alumni nominees must have graduated before 2009, so you have a little bit of perspective there on their contributions. Mm-hmm. But nomination ballots may be picked up at any Wellston school building office, the public library in Wellston, or downloaded from the district's website. So it's not easy, or it's very easy to pick up a nomination and fill it out. You do have to get it back to them by March the 22nd. That will give the committee and the school officials, whoever is all involved in this, a chance to screen the nominees, and they usually pick one. It can be posthumous, too. It can be somebody who has passed, but, they're past due for honors. And that will be, once again, at the alumni banquet that they hold there at the high school on May the 26th. All right, we want to recognize some student achievement for the Vinton County local schools. At the last school board meeting in Vinton County, and Red Thompson Jr. goes religiously to this meeting, covers all aspects of it. And the school boards, all of them are really doing a good job recognizing student and staff achievement at these meetings where, it's a little bit more of a public platform. Mm-hmm. There's not always a lot of people at school board meetings, but they do get media coverage, and it's in front of the school board officials, and I'm sure the people who get recognized feel appreciated a lot more when they do this. But in Vinton County, they honored the wrestler who's going to the state tournament. They honored his Travis Bucklew. They honored Aubrey Thompson and Chrisley Barnett, who got perfect scores on the state test last year.
Nice.
And they honored the FFA group, which is a large group in Vinton County, and their advisor, Rachel Fallon. That is going big time, the FFA group there in Vinton County. Vinton County also recognized staff achievement, retirees, teacher retirees, and also staff members who have taught for 25 years. They're almost through their career. They were honored as well, and we have had that coverage in the paper, and some of it is yet to come. Okay. But a lot of staff and student recognition there at the school board meetings. All right, we have a fella in here who a lot of people in Jackson and Vinton County know, especially in Wellston, where he is from and lived forever. But he has worked for us for Total Media, mainly on the radio side before, we had newspapers and televisions and print shops and all like that. He's worked for us 25 years, and you know who I'm talking about, Chris Henry.
Yep.
Well, I tell you what, we had a little fun with Chris on Friday, and we surprised him. He's a pretty wise guy. He can figure what's going on with about everything, but he didn't know he was going to get surprised. These 4 folks, very special. This was a revival, a one-day revival of the Nut Hut
Yes,
last Friday
love that.
on March 1st, which was the 25-year anniversary of Chris being part of this company. At that time, just Jackson County Broadcasting Company, now Total Media. You see Chris there on the left. Then you have Rodney Porterhouse Tomlin. You have the lovely Rhonda Bertrand. And then, of course, you have our own J.J. Hale, who got back behind the microphone to be J.J.
Yes.
for 1 hour. Matt McKee, who normally does Matt in the Morning Crew there, he was there to celebrate with him. He generously gave up the last hour of his show for this revival of the Nut Hut. And there you see Matt on the left with the other Nut Hut regulars there, Porterhouse, Chris Henry, and the lovely Rhonda. And Chris there, inside the building is known as Biscuit.
Yes.
In case I'm not sure how he got that name, other than maybe he likes biscuits.
I think
but,
so.
But our own Tanya Hatton, who is our HR person, she made biscuits and gravy for everybody.
There you
so
go.
wasn't that nice?
Yes.
And the lovely Rhonda, who is one of the top cookie bakers of all time.
Yep.
She brought in her goodies as well. It was just like old times here. But I want to personally, and I know I speak for a lot of other people here, thank Chris Henry for all he's done for Total Media. He is a hard worker, does very good as a salesman through the years. And, if you don't have, the sales revenue coming in, you ain't going to be here.
Yep.
So we thank Chris for all he has done. And this wasn't about retirement. He's got a lot of gas left in the tank. So congratulations.
Absolutely.
Congratulations to Chris Henry. We're going to have a story, some pictures of toasting Chris, saluting Chris, and showing pictures of some of the fun we had on Friday in our Wednesday paper. All right. We also want to acknowledge, I wasn't sure I said this last week, but even if I did, I'll say it again. The Festival of Flags Committee down in Oak Hill, they not only work hard to put on that festival, but they do a lot of their own fundraising to pay for it. They don't have a lot of corporate sponsorships or whatever to make this thing go. Well, another thing they do for the kids, and they got a lot of community donors last year, and I think they probably did this year too, but they tried to raise a lot of it on their own too, to take the heat off their community donors. They've had fundraisers all year for the purpose of not only raising funds for the festival, but to buy ride tickets for every kid at Oak Hill Elementary School. So
that's
when the
so
festival
cool.
comes, they can come.
Love that.
And of course, that drives up the attendance, but that's not what it's about for them. Mainly, it's about to treat the local kids, and that's what they do. Well, they had a leap year bingo event last Thursday because that was leap day. Well, look at the Madison Jefferson Bingo
Holy
Hall right
moly.
there. They filled the place
Crazy.
up for bingo. Okay, the jelly bean in the jar competition. How many people do you see there, Jennifer? How many people do you think were there? That's not everybody.
Oh my gosh, 200? I don't know.
Hey, you're doggone close. 194 played bingo that night. So congratulations to them. And now the donor drive for the tickets is over. They've already got all the
That
money
is
they
amazing.
need. Isn't
Way
that
to
great?
go. Oak Hill's such a fun community down there. They just take care of their own really well.
They certainly do. And speaking of Oak Hill, this is the weekend. We've got a bunch of high school plays coming up, and number one on the list is the Oak Hill Drama Club's production of Shrek the Musical Junior.
Yes, so fun.
It will be this weekend. There will be a what they call a dinner theater show. They've been doing this for a while. It's on Friday, March 8th. There is the cast. Isn't that a good-looking group there? You can see the new director, Brittany Kugel. She's helped with them before, but now she is the director. They're giving Bryce Werntz, who is a do-everything guy down in Vinton County musically, and he does a lot of things with some of the other student groups as well as an advisor. Brittany Kugel is in charge of this year's play. I'm betting that Bryce is probably helping, though. But Brittany, she's just a effervescent lady, always smiling, and you know that she is encouraging these kids and going to get the best out of them for this performance. But they do a dinner theater on Friday. The dinner part is at 6 p.m. and the show will start at 7. And the meal is coming from the Scioto River. A lot of folks are familiar with how good it is. That costs for the show and the dinner $25. Not bad, right?
No, it's definitely not bad.
And then they will do individual performances on Saturday and Sunday. 7 p.m. on Saturday evening and 3 p.m. on Sunday afternoon. The price of the ticket for the show only is $10 for adults and $7 for students. Tickets are on sale online.
And I think they do a breakfast on Sunday too, don't they? Before the performance?
They have done that before. I didn't see where they were doing
They
that.
mentioned it when they were in.
Well,
so
that is something that
probably
maybe
is.
got added in there. So
Yeah,
no,
check
that's
that
right.
out
That's
online.
right. That's right. They gave us that information later. It's called Shrekfest.
Yes.
A
Shrekfest.
takeoff on the
Yeah.
breakfast. They're doing that on Sunday morning too, and I believe that's a $5 deal for
Yeah.
sausage and pancakes. And
hello.
I think they'll give you something to drink too. I'm guessing. So, all right. Well, we want to we like to congratulate people here, not just tell you all the bad stuff, but on the sports side, we have some people that are still competing. In a couple different sports, wrestlers. We have
Yes.
4 wrestlers, 3 from Jackson High School and 1 from Vinton County High School. From Jackson High School, 2 ladies, McKenna Kraft, the sophomore, a defending state champion, McKenna Kraft, and freshman Madeline Riddle. Madeline Riddle, I think is how you say it phonetically, just looking at the name. She's only a freshman, and she's going to the state tournament. And the Jackson girls wrestling team just doing great in its
They're
first
awesome, yeah.
year of being a complete team.
Yep.
And then on the boys' side, Braden McGinnis has qualified in the 106-pound or 100-pound category. It's one or the other. The lightweight categories, he has qualified for the state tournament as well.
Awesome.
And meanwhile, at Vinton County, Travis Bucklew Jr., who went to the state tournament last year, we've
did.
had him on TV.
Yes, he was
he's
here.
going again. His record is something like 49-2. I mean, he doesn't
Yeah.
get beat very often.
That'll do.
And McKenna has not been defeated by a girl at all this year.
That doesn't surprise
And she beats most of the boys, too. I think
Yeah.
she's lost to one boy, and that's it.
Yeah.
But anyway, so congratulations to all of them. And then bowling. We got a bowler. A freshman yet. Blake
Yes.
Woodyard of Jackson High School.
He'll actually be here what day, Hayden? Thursday? He's coming in? Or tomorrow?
Oh, that's February, I bet.
Thursday.
Thursday.
Yeah,
Okay,
he'll be here
Blake.
Thursday.
Blake. Okay, well, he's going to be here. That's great. He will be. I believe it is on Friday up at HP Lanes in Columbus.
That is so
But He is
cool.
a wrestler for the Jackson High School bowling team. All he did was to get there a 661 series. Now 661, 3 games. You can figure it out if you have any kind of math skills.
Yeah.
That's about 220 a game.
Yeah.
You know.
That's
If you're a
insane.
regular person and not a pro and you bowl 220, you're thinking, that is a career highlight. I'll never do
I mean,
that again.
if I make it over 100, I think I'm doing something.
And he's
good,
a growing
so.
boy. He's a
Yes.
freshman. So
right.
congratulations to him. All right. Also, in the way of congratulations, we want to congratulate two young ladies who are going to play collegiate sports. They recently signed in Vinton County. Kylie Collins is going to play college golf. There she is,
Very
signing the
cool.
official papers while her family and coaches look on. She is going to be playing golf at Alice Lloyd College in Pippa Passes, Kentucky. So congratulations to Kylie. The Vinton County High School girls golf team won the TVC championship this year.
Nice.
All right, here at Jackson High School, closer to home, Jackson High School senior Allie Bradbury will be going to play college volleyball nearby at the University of Rio Grande. And that is Allie right in the middle, the blonde.
Great.
Flanked by her parents. And in the back row, very familiar lady who is the coach of the Rio Grande volleyball team, and that is Belina Donaldson,
Yes.
who was an athlete,
Oh,
a
man.
star athlete here at Jackson High School.
There wasn't anything she's not good at.
No, that's right. And from that famous Cooper family. She was
Yes,
a Cooper.
yes.
And so Coach Cooper got a Jackson High School girl, Allie Bradbury, to play for her. So congratulations to all hands there. And we want to, there are a lot of stuff coming up this weekend as well. We want to remind you one last time, since they took the time to come and be guests here yesterday, the Boy Scout Troop 57 Spaghetti Dinner and Auction
Yes.
this Saturday at St. Peter and Paul. It'll go all day, starts with the spaghetti serving at 11 until they run out. And then, you know, they have silent auctions. They do split the pot. And then, of course, they do the live auction, and I think John confirmed to me that's going to start about 6 o'clock.
Yep.
I was there last year, I think, and it just blew me away how much they have to sell.
Yes.
And so that's a two-sided thing. It's the business community and individuals donating, and it's the people then showing up to buy. And, they'll even maybe buy something they don't really need, but it's all about supporting
Well,
the Boy Scouts.
it's about helping the kids out, and that's a big thing. And also, don't forget the Jaffe Spring Dance is this coming weekend.
It
as
is.
well. 8 p.m. on March 9th, and that is so you can go to the spaghetti dinner and then go to the Jaffe
Right.
dance.
And I haven't checked lately to see about the situation on tickets, but they can usually spread out pretty good at the Memorial Building. And so, if you haven't got a ticket or you didn't hear about it, you haven't pinned down a ticket, I think, still try to do that.
Yeah.
That's a qualified comment I've just made because I'm not sure.
Yeah, not sure, but
I tell you what,
find a Jaffe member.
I tell you what, or drive by there in the evening and you can hear the melodious sounds of Rick Hay and the All-Nighters. There's lots of us, not just us old folks that like the oldies.
They are fun.
That like the oldies.
Very
the young
fun.
people that listen to the oldies, hey, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Great sound, Rick Hay and the All-Nighters, and that is this Saturday night. And as you know, it's just not about entertainment. You know what Jaffe does in the community, and it's much more than just the Apple Festival.
Yes, absolutely. So
All right.
there's that as well.
Well, the bell's going off. We're late.
It is, and sweet Hayden he's chomping at the bit to get back to school, so we got to get out of here for the day.
Okay, well, give him a note for Mr. Swackhammer.
That's right. Well, thank you so much for tuning in, everyone, and we will see you right back here tomorrow. Bye-bye.
This just in.
The Telegram News has a new website.
thetelegramnews.com.
Same dedicated coverage.
Same trustworthy news with a brand new look.
Covering Jackson and Benton counties and surrounding areas.
Locally owned and operated, thetelegramnews.com has its finger on the pulse of the community.
Stay up to date on local events, high school sports, and breaking news.
thetelegramnews.com.
Subscribe today at thetelegramnews.com.
Check it out.